Oh yeah, watch out, welcome back. Project Bonneville, we're going to do a bit more on this now. It's 14 degrees, the temperature's finally warm enough to do a bit of paint work. So I've got the frost wrap aerosol stuff that we used on the rest of it and on the Tiger in stock, that's ready. She's chosen a fabulous colour, she wants the tank, doesn't like the gold. Does look nice, but she doesn't like it, she wants it gone. So that's going to be painted, that's the next part of the project. And that involves taking the tank off, getting it all prepped and set up. That's pretty easy. This video, by the time you're watching it, took 3 days to make. Today's Wednesday. First day I've had a chance to get near it. I've got an hour each day after work. Early shifts, getting home, it's now 4 PM. That gives me about an hour before Penny Pit Stop gets in. And then I've got other things to do indoors, messages, emails and so on. So 1 hour I'm going to take today to set it all up. 1 hour to paint it tomorrow. And then on Sunday morning, hopefully it'll be refitting it and job done. So we can go for a nice ride. And that hopefully will look really cool then. Now the first job is taking the tank off. I'm not going to make a how to take a tank off a Bonneville video because there's just millions of them and it's just so easy. You'll see, but I'll show you quickly how to do it. There's a little clip that you have to move that's quite easy to snap if you don't understand it, so I'll show you that. But quite simply, it's going to rip the tank off, set it all up for paint, and that's all I've got time for today. Now you won't know that because you watch the rest of the video, you'll then see it get painted, and because it's going to be one video ready up for Sunday. It's now Wednesday. Never done compound video makeage before, but we're going to see how it goes. Okay, so there we are. Stick around, stay tuned. Let's get stuck in. Let's get the tank off that thing. Right, see out of the way. Right, 2 8mm bolts, pretty straightforward. I think tanks have been connected this way since about the 1960s. There's nothing new. Got it. Those bolts safe. Right, now we lift and separate. Right, backwards, come back about 4 or 5 inches, lift the tank up and just rotate it across. Now, I've got plenty of fuel in this at the minute, I'm going to drain it out in a sec. Stick my knee underneath it this side. First thing to disconnect, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you in a bit closer so you can see it for real, because you can't really see it from up there. Hang on a minute. Right, so here you go, lift your tank up. Just bend it over to the right hand side of the bike and it'll expose this little plug. And all this plug does, be careful not to scratch anything, this plug is a power supply to your fuel pump that lives up inside the tank. And it's a very simple single pin there, just get a little, one little lever at the bottom to push in. There isn't one on the other side, just push that in and that unhooks it and it comes undone. It's as simple as that, right? Like that. Pull it in, and that's the power supply completely disconnected. Now obviously if the engine isn't running, then the pump isn't running, so you won't leak any fuel out. I'm just going to get a rag, because this is touching the frame back here. Loads of rags. I'm going to paint the tank, but I don't want to scratch any of the bodywork or the motor, the top of the engine or anything with any of the lip edges of the tank under here, which is quite, not sharp, but it's edgy. Right, so get next to it, twist it over a bit further, and if you can see it there, but down under there you've got a little rubber hose. You may not be able to see it, let's have a look. There it is. There's a little rubber overflow just there, that's all it is. Just pull it off, it's got no clip, it's got no Jubilee clip, no nothing, just pull that off. And that finally leaves one thing. You can lift that up then. You can literally turn the tank then on its side And the caps on these are pretty good. It won't leak if it's even if it's above the level. Now this is a bit that foxes most people. This bit here, let's get you in camera. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you in a bit closer because it's quite easy to see it. Just zoom that in a bit more, hang on. Alright, here we are. You can proper see it this time. I'll just lift this up. Stand the tank on its side. Now it's that. It's that there. That's what we disconnect to take the fuel supply off the bike, not the other end on the injection. It comes off this end. This is the little clip that gets broken so often, people don't understand it. All it is, this orangey bit here is a lock. It doesn't have any other purpose than to stop that coming off. So you push it down out the way like that, and then that allows the two buttons on the side of the hose to be pushed in so you can pull it back. When it's in position, you can't pull the hose off. You push it down and it goes down there. It doesn't come off, doesn't slide up here or anywhere, it doesn't go down there, it just stays where it is. It just boogies backwards and forwards like that. So to get it off, push it down like that. You've got a button this side and a button the other side. So just reach in, press them both in, and then your fuel supply comes off. You've got a little tiny bit of fuel in the hose, that's it, probably enough just to wet your fingers like that, nothing much. And when you want to put it back on, you just push it on like that, snap it in place, and that won't come off. So get yourself a cloth or a rag ready if you don't want it going all over your motor. Press that down, push the two sides in, and pull it off, okay? Obviously, because the power supply is cut, the pump in here isn't running, so nothing whatsoever will come out of this tube, nothing at all. It cannot come out, it's ball valved up inside. So there we are, that's it, your tank's now free to be lifted clear. Right, it's 10 times harder without penny pit stop. Camera girl. Right, there we are, safe place for the tank, not going anywhere. Now I can get the bench set up, ready to actually stick some paint on it. Right, using 2 bits of this heavy high density foam stuff, which is just kind of, don't know what you call it. It's like the memory foam for your camping mats, but it's really thick, really strong. So just pop that in. Done this a few times, it works brilliantly for supporting tanks for paint when you don't want to touch the paintwork. Up there. Just find a vent. That's it. On the tank. Right. This goes nicely to one side. This sits beautifully in there. Absolutely lovely. On that side. Perfect. Right. Strain it out. Right, next job, clean the tank properly. Wax and grease remover if you're posh, or nail varnish remover if you're not. And this stuff will do the job. I just know I'm going to get flamed to death for using this, but believe me, it works. I've done it on all the other work, all the other frost wrap, liquid wrap jobs I've done. It's an acetone based spirit that takes everything off, absolutely everything. It strips the paint, or it strips the tank right back to just the paint only. It leaves absolutely nothing. If you ever stick anything on your windscreen, like what we used to do tax disc holders before they abolished them, it's the greatest thing for making decals stick. If you're going to stick decals onto your bike, nail varnish remover, and that tank was spotless, and yet it's just wax, body wax and stuff, and it keeps coming. You just put more, you keep going at it more, and it keeps taking it off. I wouldn't use thinners because thinners will actually melt the paint. You'll actually damage your paint. So all this needs, this liquid spray on vinyl, is a clean dry surface with nothing on it at all. Absolutely nothing, no polish, no wax, no dirt certainly. So just a good old half an hour, gradually go over, and this stuff just, you can see it, it's taking the polish off and nothing else. Doesn't damage the paint, which I like. Right, and that's coming off clean. That'll do. That's it for now. Ready. Okay, let's show you the paint. Right, this is the stuff, if you remember it, Frost liquid wrap, and we're going with gunmetal grey. It's kind of the same gunmetal grey they use on some of these kind of cool looking Mercedes and BMs you see painted up like a matte or satin grey finish, and I quite like that. 4 cans should be enough for that because it only took 3 cans to do the Tiger, which is outside. I reckon 4 cans should be enough or less. Everything's ready. There's a gap underneath all the way around it. That's now ready to paint. All I've got to do is cover all that up so it doesn't get overspray all over it and get myself ready. Right, time's on my side. Penny's not home for about another hour or so yet, so I'm going to get some material on there. Not going to mask the badges because I'm going to paint over the badges. The great thing with this stuff is it just peels off, and if you just watch some videos on this, same as Plasti Dip as well, if you paint over the badge and you don't like the look, just peel it off the badges, kind of just mark round so it doesn't skin onto the body itself, doesn't peel it off of the tank part, and you can just clean the badges and take them off. If you mask up the badges and put tape round them and then spray it, the skin goes from the bodywork onto the masking tape, and then when you pull the masking tape off, it pulls it off the body. You're better off, and you'll see it on all the videos that explain it, just painting over the badges and then just peeling it off afterwards. A little bit fiddly, but it's far cleaner and you won't mess up the job. So I'm going to leave the badges. I've stuck some masking tape in the hole, just a little seal around it in the cap so it doesn't go down inside and block the filter, and I'm ready. So I'm just going to stick some stuff on it. First of all, it's a usual drill, 6 coats, 6 wet coats with 15 minutes in between. So there's quite a lot of time involved in this, but it's worth it. It's got the heater running if you can hear it. It's 20 degrees in here. It's going to dry off nicely. Nice atmospheric. It's got the little bit of ventilation as you can see there under the door, and there's a little bit at the back door, so it's kind of blowing through as safe as I can be. Right, let's get stuck in. Right, that's 3 coats of primer or primer material. Blemish in there. This is there 15 minutes now, and then go over to colour. starting to spit now, so that'll do. Right, let's put the heater on. That's it. Right, so there we are, 7 coats of material, 2 of undercoat.
Don't touch it.
What?
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. 7 coats, 2 of undercoat, and oh, by the way, Penny's back. Welcome, Penny.
Back from work.
7 o'clock at night now. I started this at 4 p.m. Another 3-hour monster session in the garage. It kind of looks all porridgey and horrid. There's a few little hairs and stuff in it that have kicked up off the floor. But this is by no means a spray booth, but that's the way it goes. But this stuff is amazing. There's a little tiny run, but it'll all flatten out because this vinyl wrap stuff is incredibly forgiving. It really is. Even a monkey boy like me can make a good job. So that's going to take 24 hours before it's even touchable. So I'm going to leave it now and go indoors and call it a night, and then probably leave it till Sunday before I can maul it around and fit it back on the bike, especially where you've got to turn it on its side like we did and fit the fuel line back on. So before I sort of brush a sleeve across this, I'm going to move away from it, step away from the tank, leave it there to dry. It won't look anything like that in the next clip. I'm going to put all this in one video, like I said. It'll be nice and matte, and I'll give you a proper walk round when that time comes, okay? Thanks for watching so far.